Hello learners and welcome back. So, are you guys tensed because of tenses? Or is it something that bothers you with this when it comes to this topic in English language? Now, people say that if we know tenses, it is easier for us to keep on going and working on it. So, is it that tenses give you tension? If that's the case, here we are. And I'm here to resolve your very first problem, that is about present simple tense. I don't want you to fritter much about it. I want you to be learning and to learn it easily and to get it straight up, to understand where to use present simple, where to use present continuous and other tenses. Alright? So today we're talking about present simple tense. And I had already discussed in the introduction part about three types of tenses, that is present, past and future. We had a discussion about when to use this, where to put it into use, right? We have been doing it and there was, I told you about present, I told you about past, I told you about future. So it was done, and now with the proper introduction once we've taken, we're moving ahead with the types of tenses, okay? The very first thing that I have is, as you can see on the screen, that I say, there's an example that I have taken. I have breakfast at 7. When I say I have breakfast at 7, I have is a main verb here. Now, I hope and I know that you people understand really well what main verb means and what helping verb, because I have discussed this with you people many times now. In every session that I come up with, I sometimes say helping verb, I sometimes point out main verb. Here, have is acting as a main verb for us. Why? Because it is imparting us the meaning of eat. Okay? Eat, which means I eat or I take breakfast at 7. So I have breakfast at 7 usually. Okay? Now, if you see this sentence and if you see the next example that I've taken, he goes to work at 9. He goes to work at 9. What does this mean? Now, goes to work at 9 means that he regularly goes to office at 9. So this is a regular action that I'm talking about. Every day he goes to office or goes to work at 9, and every day he takes breakfast at 7. Okay? These are actions which are regular. If you see the third example, they go home at 5. Go, again, see present form of verb. They go home at 5. Or maybe they go home late in the evening. You don't have to mention the time always. You can use they usually visit me once a week, okay? Or they usually visit their paternal house once a week, paternal grandmother once a week. So that can be a regular action in different intervals, or you can define the time period as well. Okay? If you define the time period, then also it's okay. If you don't define the time period, then also it's okay. Alright. Now, moving ahead, if you see the next example, Shreya watches television before dinner. Now, when I say Shreya watches television before dinner, means that every day before having dinner, she watches television. Now, this is S or ES form of verb, which is the present singular form of verb, guys. This is present singular form of verb. Whereas go is present plural form of verb. This is plural form of verb. Okay? So whenever you frame sentence in present tense, there would be subject. There would be present plural form, which is known as first form of verb. Okay? Then you can use verbs S or ES form of verb. And then you can have your object or complement. This is the structure. See, they go home at 5. So subject, verb, object or complement. Okay? This is the absolute structure. This is the accurate structure. Now, if for example, if you want to make it negative, here you can add they don't go home at 5. They don't go home at 5. You can add, if you want to frame negative sentence, you will have to make use of do or does plus not, which becomes don't or doesn't. Okay, do or does plus not, which becomes does or don't. Alright? Okay. Now, moving ahead, as I told you about the pattern, this is the pattern. This is for positive sentences and this is for the negative sentences. You just have to add do or does with not. So what we were talking about, I was saying that these are sentences that are telling us about regular actions, guys. Okay, and this is the primary use of present simple tense. As you can see, all the sentences discussed are telling us about daily routine or regular actions. Daily routine or regular actions. So when it comes to daily routine or regular actions, it is about present simple tense. So you have to make use of present simple tense when it comes to talking about your daily routine or your regular actions. Okay? Now, alright. Now, when I say any action which is true in general, if I am putting into use any action which is true in general, something that cannot be changed, it is true. For like, you cannot change it. If I say I like mangoes, you can't change it. Can you help it? It is true in general. I like it. Now, when I say I like big cities, which means that's again something that's true about me. This is something that is generic about me and you cannot change it. Okay? Next could be the shop opens at 8 a.m. and closes at 11 p.m. Can you help it? This shop it opens at 8 and it shuts at 11. Can you change it? It is again a fact. It is true in general and I can't ask them to change the timing or I can't change their timing. This is again something that is true in general. Another example that I have, okay, we'll get back to it. So here we are talking about something that is true in general. Okay, anything that's true in general uses present simple tense. As you can see, opens and you can see closes. We have used verbs S or ES form. Both the places we have used verbs S or ES form. Alright. लाइट बंद कर इसके बाद कर लूँगा लाइव अंडर क्लास। अब तुम कट कर देना इसको, जाओ 10:28 हो रहा है, जाओ, नहीं पता चल सकता। So both the places we have used S or ES form of verb, opens and closes. Okay. So now if you see, we have done two places where we use this tense. Number one, for an action which is true in general. Okay, my father works as an engineer, or my father works with my paternal uncle. So I can't change, it's true in general. Okay, and if I'm talking about my daily routine, I wake up at 7 p.m. or I go to gym early in the morning. These are all, what are these? These are all daily routine or regular actions. Moving ahead, we have for you this. Have a look. Always, never, often, sometimes, usually. You will make use, or you have to make, whenever you see these words, that is always, never, often, sometimes, or usually, you have to make use of present simple tense, which is verb's first form, or verb's S or ES form of verb. Okay. For example, I usually go to work by car. Usually, see, immediately present form of verb, and because it's I, we are using first form of verb. See, I and you, these two words are exceptions. Though they are singular, they make use of plural verb. Okay? Though these words are singular, though these subjects are singular, they make use of plural verb, that is first form of verb. Okay. Now, let's have a look at another example. Kajal never eats breakfast. Never. See, this is something that never happens. So any action that is usual, that happens in regular intervals, or that never happens, something that's true in sense. Okay, this never happened. Kajal never eats breakfast. This is true in fact. It is a fact. It's true. Okay, it's true in general. So with never also you will use present simple tense. And why are we using eats here? The reason is because Kajal is singular in form. Kajal is singular in form. Okay, that is the reason. Now, next, moving ahead with the next example. We often see him in the corridor. Again, first form of verb. The reason of using first form of verb is here we have often, which again shows a regular action or habit. Okay, something that is true in general, that keeps on happening. Okay, so see these words: usually, never, and often. Okay, we've used these three words, and with these three words, either we are using first form verb or we are using the S or ES form of verb. The reason is these words itself make use of present simple tense. Alright, so these are the three places or three major uses of present simple tense. Okay, number one is this, with these words: always, never, often, sometimes, usually. Number two is any action which is true in general. Any action that is true in general, which cannot be, I would say, which depends on personal choices. Okay, and you cannot change it. That is true in general. Okay, this is what defines the actions that are true in general, and they again take use of present simple tense. Last but not the least, or the very first one that we discussed, was about daily routine. And this is why we say whenever you have to talk about your daily routine, you keep on using, or you use generally, right, present simple tense. So this is what I had as a discussion for you people today. And see, this is present simple tense. You have to work on this part of present simple tense. Try to frame your sentences, whether it's for daily routine. See, whenever you are asked to tell about your daily routine, you have to make sure that you stay in present simple tense. If someone asks you what you did yesterday, then you can say, I woke up at this time, I took my breakfast at this time. But if someone asks about your daily routine, then you have to say, I wake up, I take breakfast, I prepare tea, I go for office. So you have to be in present tense. You have to be in present simple tense. You have to stick to it for daily routine. Like, I go home at 5, or I go to office at 9, or I go for work at 9. That time you can define your daily routine. Okay, daily routine has to be in present simple tense at any cost. Okay, got the idea? So yes, this is what I had as a discussion with you people for today. Okay, and I shall see you guys soon, and we would take this ahead. We would be doing all types of tenses together, one by one, like this, only in simple ways, making you frame your own sentences, because that is more important. That is really important, if you frame your own sentences. Okay, practice well, keep learning, keep growing, guys. Thank you so much.